In 2021, people spent $40.9 billion trading NFTs. But here's the really cool part about that. It's not the money itself. It's that a huge number of those sales were first driven by giveaways. Now I know that sounds crazy. Why would we, in this really, really rabid, excited market where everybody is hungry to buy all of these NFTs, start giving ours away? We put all of this work into creating them. We want them out in the market and making money for us, right? Well, you're in luck, because today I'm gonna tell you exactly why you would wanna do this in the first place, and then how you can have a successful giveaway that leads into higher sales for your own NFT collection. My name is Trent Kennelly. I'm a marketing strategist, and on this channel, I talk about all the things that you can do to improve your business through marketing, sales, and analytics. So if that sounds good to you and you're excited, make sure that you like this video, subscribe to my channel if you're into it, comment to let me know what you're giving away, what your plan is for this sort of thing. I would love to know. You can even link your collection down in the comments. I'd love to see it, and let's get started. Okay, so why would you want to do an NFT giveaway at all? So here's the thinking. You have a collection, let's say of 5,000 or 10,000 NFTs in your collection, and you want to draw attention to it. So you give away a few, which builds hype. It gets people looking at your collection and theoretically increases the price for the rest of the collection. Now, I just mentioned in that one sentence, two big reasons that you would want to do this. And I think that we really need to take a bit more time to analyze each of these. So first, how does this build hype exactly? And second, how could a giveaway increase the price of the rest of the collection? So let's dive into both of those right now. So first, let's talk about that hype. So a giveaway builds hype for the same reason here that it does in just about any other scenario. People love free stuff, and they will always jump to grab it, which leads to them telling their friends about it, who then come look at it themselves. They'll talk about it online through their Twitter accounts or whatever, and it builds that virality. So just to step out of NFTs for a moment, just to understand this concept more broadly, consider, by way of example, a new subscription service to analyze your YouTube channel. I'm just making this up, okay? Let's say that when you launch it, you decide to give away the service for life to the first 1,000 people to download the service. Your thinking, of course, is the same here. They're going to use the service, they're going to get excited, they're going to use that word of mouth that they have that's so powerful to tell their friends and to tell other people in their community, and you're going to get a bunch of paying customers who are going to be really excited about this service because of these first 1,000 talking about how great it is, okay? But there is one really important thing you need to watch out for here. People tend to value things that they get for free less than they do something that they have to pay for. And the reason is that we're assigning value based on what we're giving up. Tiffany's diamonds are allegedly better than Zales because they cost more. A BMW is supposed to be better than a Honda because it's more expensive. But no matter how expensive something is, you still tend to devalue it if you get it for free, because again, we didn't give anything up to gain it, okay? So this is definitely something to consider when you're doing these giveaways. In broad terms, what we're talking about here is brand dilution. So brand dilution is when you've devalued your own brand via giveaways or discounts or whatever, so people don't tend to value your product at the price that you assign it. So a great example here, I used to work with a company that was constantly adding these 40% discounts to their products all the time. It must have been like once every other week that they were giving this huge discount to their clients. And I remember the moment that the brand was diluted, because I saw a comment on one of their ads that was asking something about the price. It was saying something like, oh, this is too expensive, can I get it for cheaper or something? And another person replied to that comment and said, oh, don't worry, they're gonna send out a 40% off discount in a day or two, and then you're gonna be able to buy it for a lot cheaper. Boom. Nobody was buying it at the full price because nobody valued it at the price that it was assigned by the owners of that business. So that is brand dilution in action. Now, a launch giveaway on its own, because it's at that launch phase, probably won't lead to brand dilution as long as you're not constantly doing giveaways, because it's a little bit different at that beginning, at that launch. It's to build that excitement, right? But you should still be aware of it because it does affect the price of the rest of the collection and how that price evolves, which kind of leads to our second question here. How is the collection's price and overall value affected by this launch giveaway? So to answer this question, you need to clearly understand how the value of an NFT increases and decreases, okay? So the basic formula was laid out beautifully by Hugo Chang in an article I'll link in the description, but the general formula is like this: utility plus ownership history plus future value plus liquidity premium equals value for an NFT. So digging a little bit deeper into each of these 4 factors, first, utility. So utility is how usable the NFT is across multiple platforms. Now, when it comes to NFT art, this is almost always going to be low for the moment. That's because the metaverse is still an open question, meaning whose metaverse is going to be the metaverse, how they're going to make everything cohesive, etc. We've still got this war coming between Facebook as the metaverse as they have announced it, Apple most likely coming out with their own Appleverse, Decentraland, Somnium Space, Wilder Worlds, all of these other players in the field that are all going to be battling for your eyeballs and for your money, and one of those is probably going to win. We're kind of looking at the ultimate HD DVD versus Blu-ray here, okay? This is going to be a big battle, and probably 1 or 2 at the most is going to win. So you can check out this video for lots of details on the metaverse and kind of what's happening there right now. But once the question is settled, we're very likely to see the utility for NFT art and NFTs more generally increase in value and utility and usability over time. So ownership history is rating the NFT's value against the public profile of its owners. That includes the issuer and it includes you as the first owner, okay? So the issuer being OpenSea or Rarible or Binance or MetaMask, whoever you're minting with, okay? So it's not just about, oh, okay, we have owners. It's also about what are the profiles. So when it comes to the minters or the issuers, we want to know these are well-known issuers. So that's why a lot of people already go straight to OpenSea and Rarible, because it already adds the profile. It already increases that ownership history. But also it's important who the owners are. So if the owners have a higher profile, it's more likely to add to that ownership history. If they've got a lot of history with having bought NFTs in the past, having had success with them, or being artists themselves, that's going to increase the ownership history, okay? Next is future value, which is more or less the same as it is in any other situation, which is how has the NFT changed historically on price and what's the cash flow situation. So basically we're looking at what's happened in the past and how can we use that in the current situation with cash flow to predict the future here. So we're looking at just the numbers. Okay, so we saw it sold for $200 2 transactions ago. We're talking about USD. Now it's charged $500 for this transaction. So now we can maybe say that future value is going to be X based on those calculations, okay? And then finally, liquidity premium. So liquidity premium is basically just the more it moves, the higher the liquidity of the NFT. If it's selling between 6 different owners in one day, that's highly, highly liquid. If it's going from one owner to the next over a month period, that's not very liquid. So that was a bunch of finance, which isn't why you're on this marketing channel. So let me tell you why you should care about this breakdown. A giveaway has a direct effect on 3 of those factors: ownership history, future value, and liquidity premium. For the ownership history, it's going to increase, which should be a good thing, but especially is a very good thing if that owner's profile is strong. So if that owner is very well known. Future value likely decreases for free NFTs, though it should be considered that when that free NFT is then resold, which is likely to happen, it's immediately showing a higher sale amount, so this then adds to the future value. And the liquidity premium increases because the NFT is on the move. It's just looking at, is this NFT moving or not? So generally pretty positive outcomes for doing a giveaway with your NFT collection because those NFTs are moving, and if those NFTs are getting the attention from everybody else, then it's gonna start to draw attention for the collection generally. So what you're doing here is you're saying, look, here's the giveaway, we're getting people excited. Now we are showing that there's movement with these NFTs, so that's drawing the markets in to show more interest. Now people are going to notice the collection, now more people are gonna come into the collection to want to purchase the other ones from you because they're more aware of it, because those NFTs that moved made them aware of it, right? Okay, so I'm done beating you up with the science, all right? Let's get into the tactics of this thing. There are 2 important things to consider here: how many NFTs you're gonna give away and how you're gonna promote the giveaway. So the amount of NFTs to give away is largely a function of how many you have in general, right? So it goes without saying that you don't wanna give them all away. I'd suggest around 10% of your stock at absolute max, probably scaling that back as your collection gets bigger. So if you have a 1,000 piece collection, you can give away 100. But if you have a 10,000 piece collection, maybe you would want to limit that to 250 or so because you don't want to give away 1,000. That's a whole lot of NFTs to give away. What you're looking to do is balance the amount you have to sell with what it takes to drive the attention and what's going to avoid diluting your brand because you've given too many away, right? So I really wouldn't go above that 250 number for 10,000 pieces, etc. If you don't have a huge collection, you also don't want to sacrifice what you can sell for what you're giving away. It's the same exact argument. Whatever you're doing needs to be balanced on the selling side with this as a little promotion in the beginning. Once you know how many you're giving away, the next step is pretty simple. You're just distributing them to as many places as you can. A lot of these are the typical places that everyone else is pushing their free giveaways as well, like Reddit, like Discord, like Twitter, etc. Check out this video for lots of details on that. But what's more important to talk about here is the way that the promotion is done, because NFTs are still an extremely hot topic. So basically, the first mention of the giveaway is going to trigger a gold rush. And in a lot of cases, these giveaways are done within an hour or two. But regardless of that fact, you still need to make sure that you have a limit on your giveaways availability. Because if you haven't exhausted that giveaway stock for whatever reason, you don't want people just fluttering in every 6 months to grab another free one. All you're doing is slowing down your valuation, basically killing it in the long run. Now, final thing, when you're running the promotion, you're normally gonna have several rules. So maybe it's join my Discord server, like this post, and send me a DM. It could be something else, but let's just use that example, okay? It's important that you pick from people who have followed these rules, and there are a few reasons for that. First, obviously it's unfair to give it to somebody who didn't follow those rules. That's a little bit ridiculous because you set those rules out. Second, you're really looking to engage with these people, right? So you're looking to build these marketing channels, keep people coming into your Discord server or to your Facebook group or whatever you're using. And the more that you can do that, the more you can encourage people to come in and engage with you where you are, the more you're going to be able to build up your own brand, and the easier it's going to be to market to them in the future when it's time to put out a new NFT drop, okay? And then finally, in order to continue building the excitement about your NFT collection after the giveaway is over, you can publicly announce those winners. So you get a surge coming in during the giveaway. You can get a surge on the other end when people find out that they're the winner, when they get publicly announced as the winners, when they share it with their friends, when that increases the public profile, when that builds a new viral influx of people looking at your NFT collection and just increases its profile in general. So there's a lot you can do here. So there you go. A giveaway has a special significance for NFTs that it really doesn't in most situations. So I would definitely encourage you to look at doing this with your collection. I would love for you to link me your collection. I'd love to be able to see it, take a look at it. You can even use my comments down below as a launch pad for your own giveaway if you want. Otherwise, make sure that you reach out if you have any questions about giveaways or how you can best push that out and execute on your own giveaway for your own self and your own collection. I would love to be able to help you. Otherwise, make sure that you like this video if you like the video, subscribe to my channel if you're into it, and I will catch you in the next one.